What is up, everybody? This is ADAM GLOWACKI from Team WUNAX, and I'm here with JACOB POKORNY, who just placed pretty damn well at Chicago Regionals for the first weekend of Phantom Nightmare. JACOB, how are you feeling after the weekend?
Feeling really good. The deck is really strong and looking forward to Fargo next week.
Excellent. Well, let's just get right to it. What was the deck you were playing today?
I was playing Earthbound Kashtira.
Wow. Haven't heard of this sucker before. It's something new for the format, huh?
Yeah, pretty new deck. Just came out in like Maze of Millenniums, so a lot of cool stuff.
Excellent. Well, let's just get right to it. Show us what the goo is, sir.
All right. Well, we'll start with Kashtira monsters. So 3 unicorn, of course. This card's just, pretty standard Kashtira. Gets you your birth and Theosis. Best card in the deck. 3 Fenrir. This card wins games on its own. I cannot tell you how many games I won just from Fenrir control. Just summon Fenrir, search another Fenrir, and then banish something face down, and they can't play.
Awesome.
A unicorn ripping extra deck is insanely powerful too.
Oh, for sure. Especially this weekend with all the Fire King Snake Eyes ripping the Hitas or the excess like Atlantis or something like that. Yeah.
Next, for the one of Kashtiras, you play just 1 Rise Heart since you don't really lock into Xyz summoning as much with this deck. You're more focused on Synchro and Fusion.
All right.
On Synchro.
Sure.
1 Scareclaw, because you need it for the combo. And it's also insane against Voiceless Voice. Against Voiceless, round 7, I want to say.
Okay.
He ended on full combo, and I summon Unicorn, he banishes it. Open the Birth, right? So Birth bring back, and I just had Scareclaw to negate his guy and punch over.
Yeah, so the Scareclaw Cash, it allowed you to prevent the guy from being a 4100 beat stick instead of 2051 and getting rid of it.
Exactly, yep.
Really good tech there.
Oh, yeah. And the best card that we put in the deck, literally the day before the event, Tearlaman's Kashtira. This card is so powerful.
All right, so this is one you don't really see often in cash lists. So explain to us how this was insane for you.
So there's a few different reasons, so you need one of these 2 for the combo.
Okay.
And I think that Tearlaman's Kashtira is better for the actual combo because you need to have you need to have 2 cash monsters, so you can either have Unicorn plus Birth or Fenrir to search one of these 2. And I think that tier cash is better because especially getting cards in your graveyard or getting cards from your opponent's graveyard and just seeing, like game 1, just knowing what your opponent's deck is so you kind of have a plan for it too is really powerful. There were a couple of really good times when I got lucky and milled at Theosis. Then I just went Scareclaw, banished Theosis, had a new card to hand. Pretty powerful.
All right, and also milling the top 3 of your opponent's deck, that pretty much enables Kashtira Birth to be live then as well.
Yeah, exactly. It turns on Birth, and then also if they're under Shifter and you use this card, you just get to banish 3 cards from their deck.
That's pretty good, especially if you hit something that's really important like a Fire King Island or Poplars, anything like that.
Super
really
powerful one-ofs just hitting those.
Excellent.
Get them out of the deck. Oh, those are all the Kashtira cards.
And I see a little gremlin on the top there.
Yeah,
so this is the second package.
The Earthbound portion of the deck here.
All right.
You play 3 Stone Sweeper. This card's really only here to search the level 1. I never use him for anything else except he has a really funny effect where you can special summon him if you have a field zone or if there's a field zone in play. So I just special summoned him and made a Typhon over him and crashed for game. So
awesome.
Pretty funny. This card's amazing though. 3 Groundkeeper. So this card will summon the Line Walker from the deck or graveyard, and Line Walker here will search for the Harmonic Synchro Fusion. So this card's really the MVP here.
Okay, they're both tuner monsters, and their levels seem to conjunction well with the Kashtiras being 7s.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
The cool thing, too, is if you get disrupted in the combo, you can just go Fenrir plus Groundkeeper, and if they negate 1 of the 2, you can just go into Shen Shen and hard make it.
Oh, you're making Shen Shen. That's actually pretty good in this format since the Snake Eyes are needing to send cards from the field as cost, so they can't actually activate if Shenshin's live.
Exactly. Yup. For hand traps, we played 3 Ash Blossom.
Yeah.
Card was very good. Normally, I just kind of ashed like an OSS or like
Being original Sinful Swell Snake Eye.
Exactly. Yeah. That was the main hit with Ash Blossom. Desires and like Prosperities too, if they rip 6, you know, stuff like that. And then like the MVP hand trap shifter. This card stole so many games. This card's just way too powerful.
And it doesn't really affect you with your synchro lines at all.
It really doesn't. Yeah. I mean, like it disrupts the harmonic synchro fusion, but if you draw a shifter, you'd rather have that online depending on the matchup, so you can just end on like Baron plus shifter and it's fine.
Okay. Yeah, because you can't use harmonic since you need to send to graveyard.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, something to keep in mind there.
Also played 3 Imperm here. Card was pretty decent. The column thing never came up, unfortunately.
Didn't play any pendulums today.
Didn't play against any pendulums, no. I wonder why, right? But Imperm was pretty decent.
All right.
Next, we played 3 Pressured Planet Rights Off and a Terraforming. It is so important to see a cash monster, like insanely important to get one. And if you're not drawing a cash monster, you're losing the game. The Earthbounds will not do it on their own. You need to have a cash monster at all times. So you have to play 3 and a Terraforming. Even though Droll's in the format everywhere, you have to play this.
All right, and how often did that attack boost from Rights Off come
The attack
up?
boost was insane. So round 10, I faced the mirror match, but he wasn't playing the Earthbound Immortals. He was just playing pure cash. And he had a Fenrir, so I went Rights Off, search Fenrir. He drolled me, but I specialed my own Fenrir, and it was a 100 attack over his. So I just crashed it, and he didn't draw another monster his next turn. So it was insane. This card's so good. Next for the spells, 3 Birth. This is the best spell card in the entire deck. This card won me every single game. This card's way too powerful. The effect to banish 3 from your opponent's graveyard face down and to revive every single turn. Like the normal summon thing is whatever, right? Like it's still good, but just the banishing face down from the grave is so powerful.
In such a format where the graveyard is super reliant right now with Voiceless Voice as well as for the Fire King Snake Eyes, having that ability is great. As well as people can play around it early on with playing spells before the graveyard is loaded with 3.
Yeah.
But as we said before, Tier Limits Cash, that just enables the burst to be live as soon as your opponent's starting.
Exactly. So even if they like go Bonfire or something, you can get rid of 3 cards out of their graveyard. And it puts them in a really weird position to play around Birth. And the reason like you have to play Tier Cash and Scareclaw too is because you always want to end on a Kashtira monster after your combo so that Birth is live, because you have to have a face-up cash monster. So we decided to play another extra name that you can special summon. That's where Tier Cash came in.
All right.
And then 1 Theosis. You really don't need more if you can manage your resources really well. Like I said, the banish thing to add back is really cool. And the Xyz summoning part of the deck is really like a backup plan. Your kind of main focus is synchro summoning with this deck.
All right.
1 harmonic synchro fusion, we talked about this. All you need is 1. I believe 1 line walker, 1 harmonic is all you need. Everything else is just added bricks.
All right.
3 Prosperity. Like I said, you really need to see this card here. And you just need to see the field spell. So getting to the field spell faster is what this card does.
I'm also noting that these are QCRs. Very nice.
Yes, exactly.
Very much a blinged out deck you've got going on.
Yes. I've been working on the collection here.
Beautiful.
1 call by. This came up a lot. Hitting Droll is really impactful because we do a lot of adding to hand with Prosperity and Terraforming and everything. So making sure we get our cards to our hand is very important. Also, like hitting the graveyard, stopping graveyard effects is really, really important. This card single-handedly beat Voiceless Voice.
Awesome.
Next, Triple Cosmic Cyclone.
In the main deck.
In the main deck. I think this card is insane. This card won me the Cash Mirror as well because I used Cosmic on their birth when they tried to summon back. And then, like, I hit Fire King Islands and Pendulum Zone, like Odd Eyes guy, and just everything. This card is so versatile and so good right now.
All right, and since your Cash engine and your Earthbound engines are both very small in size, it allows you for that flexibility of the Cosmic that other decks might fail to have.
Exactly.
Very nice. Well, looks like we're done with the main deck. Let's move on to the extra then, shall we?
Yeah, so we'll start with the Xyz monsters. Like I said, this is kind of your backup plan here, but Shangri-Ira plus the field spell really is a good way to just, pop a card on the field, and he's kind of hard out a little bit. You don't use the zone locking at all. That's not relevant. This is single-handedly the best Xyz monster. I made this guy so many times as a backup plan to the main. If the main strategy gets disrupted, you just summon him, and then you pop 2 cards on the field. Crazy good card.
Sick.
I never made Harmonizer, but we kept it in there just in case we needed it against Fire King or any of the fire decks that are around, but I just never played it. Just never needed to summon it. Same thing with Zeus. Never needed to summon
That's wild.
Yeah, it never came up, right? I just thought there was always better plays, like just popping their board with Dark Armed or just going in with Shangri-Ira and establishing another cash monster. This guy summoned all the time, though. Sky Crisis is so good. Especially against, just non-target bounce and having your opponent not being able to activate, really strong monsters. Sky Crisis is powerful.
All right.
We'll go on to the synchros here. So you played 2 Baron to Floor.
Sheesh! Both of those QCRs.
Yes, they are.
Very nice.
We talked about this actually in testing a lot, and we were going back and forth between 1 or 2. But at the end of the day, Baron's way too important, and this is the sole best card in the extra deck here. And just having an Omni Negate and a pop every single turn is really crucial. And if you play against Unicorn to get it out of the extra deck or some other thing to do that, or if they disrupt you, you can go Baron again on the next turn.
Yeah, so because you've got Baron de Fleur at 2 copies, it means if you're playing against Kashtira, that means their Unicorn isn't going to make a significant rip on you.
Yep.
As well as for players using Horus Engine with Infection Buzz King, that means they also just don't have a significant rip off of that. So having 2 isn't too bad. And also, how often did you go into 2 in a game?
Not very often, but I did use it a couple games. It did come up.
Nice.
Next, we played Changying. We thought this was another good rank 10 or Synchro 10 option, but I never summoned this either. Never just came up. This card's insane, though. This card I made almost every single match. Shen is broken. I played a couple Salmon Greats and on Shen's an FTK. So it's literally an FTK and they can't do anything to out it. Salmon Great needs resources in the graveyard. So they spend 3-4 cards just to out this one. And then next turn you can just bring them back. And they have to do it all over again. And they have nothing to go off of.
Very nice.
Next, you play Geogriffin. This card's part of the combo, but like I said, even if your Harmonic gets disrupted, I had people imperming Line Walkers, so I said, well, okay, fine, I'll just hard make Shen, and it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah, so explain the combo a bit with the Geogriffin here.
So, the main combo is you need a Cash Monster and a Groundkeeper. So, if you have Unicorn plus Groundkeeper, you special Unicorn, search Birth, normal Groundkeeper, summon Line Walker, and then Line Walker searches Harmonic Synchro Fusion.
Okay.
And then, so you have these 3. And then you use these 2 to make Baron.
Okay.
So you're protected from the rest of the disruptions. And then you use Birth.
That you got from the Unicorn,
Unicorn, yeah, to summon back. And then you go Synchro 8 into Griffin.
Sure.
So Griffin will bring back Groundkeeper from the grave.
All right.
Harmonic Synchro Fusion lets you use both of these to summon Shen Shen, and the one fusion that we play, Geokraken.
All right, what's Geokraken doing?
So Geokraken lets you search any field spell in the game.
Wow.
We were talking about playing more than one field spell, but maybe we'll test it at the next regional, but we just decided to play the rights off. We were thinking of things like the Tier Elements field spell to search Tier Cash or Reichphobia to search Scareclaw, but with Droll being around, we were like, it's just best to keep it simple, so...
All right,
but yeah,
sure.
even if they disrupt that, so like even if you can't add Harmonic, you can still just Griffin
into Shen Shen
back and hard make Shen Shen anyway.
So what's Kraken's other effect? Because he's got an onboard effect as well. Did that ever come up?
It never came up. No, they normally just scooped when they saw Shen Shen plus Baron. They never never came up. Right?
So yeah, for those of you that don't know, Geokraken has a Raigeki effect on your opponent's turn when they special summon a monster from the extra deck, and it also deals burn damage 800 times the amount of monsters Raigeki'd.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty funny time card, in all things considered, if you make this combo game 3.
Yeah. Next, we'll move on to the Link monsters.
Oh yeah, we're playing Links?
Yeah, just a couple. I played Donner. This was kind of a just-in-case card. I used to use this card in case I got Nibiru'd, but I only got Nibiru'd once during the whole tournament because I wasn't playing around it the one game because he wasn't doing anything, right? So I was like, he passed for like 2 turns, so I'm like, okay, I think I can just OTK him, but they Nibiru'd me, it's fine. I still got him the next turn, whatever, but even when I got Nibiru'd, I never used this card anyway, so not needed.
All right.
The next is Hita. We just thought with all the fire decks that this card would be very strong. Never summoned it. The next is Almirage, and the only reason we played this is because we play one SP Little Knight. During testing, this came up a ton that we would use like a hand trap or something. Like we would just use, not a shifter, we'd use like an Ash Blossom to go into Almirage, and then with another cash monster to make an SP and banish an anti-spell or some other stupid floodgate. So SP came up a ton in testing, but just never came up once in the tournament. So
interesting.
Never needed to summon any of these Link monsters. So
well, the SP is a star QCR, which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah, might work on the extra deck a little bit for the next event. So might do a little working on that. Try and see if we can find some better cards.
For sure.
We'll get to the side deck there.
Yeah.
We played 3 Ghost Spell.
All right.
This
QCRs
card,
as well.
Yeah. I really only used this card to negate Call by the Grave.
Wow.
It was the only time I needed this card. Never came up except against some Red Dragon Archfiend deck early rounds, and I hit the Crimson Dragon to revive from grave, but it wasn't needed, obviously.
All right.
This card was insane. 3 Droll and Lockbird.
Oh, yeah.
This card was insane against the Kashmir and against any other deck that just searches a ton. You just really stop their turn, and then you just OTK them.
Okay, would you consider main decking Droll or no?
I'm not a big fan of main decking Droll, just in case you play against a deck that doesn't search a lot, or like if they brick or something. I don't know. I'm always scared of Labyrinth or something, right? So, and they don't really do that much searching. So I really like siding it. I think the main deck's fine as it is.
Okay.
Next was 3 Mourner. We mostly put these in just for time, just in case, but I never went into time all day, so it really never came up. The only time, literally the only use for this card was to make a Baron. Because it's a level 3 tuner. That's the only reason I use that card.
Fair enough.
Next, we played 2 Thrust and 1 Talent.
Yeah.
And these cards were very powerful, just Thrust, searching, Talent, to look at the opponent's hand or draw 2 was insane.
How do you feel with the ratios for those?
I don't know. I kind of want to play another Talents just because looking at the hand is so powerful. And then also, like, taking an opponent's monster and slapping a Sky Crisis on it is very strong as well. So I might try to play 1 more Talents. We'll see if we can fit it in there. But Thrust Searching Feather Duster was insane too.
Nice.
So just
what was your biggest pop with Duster during the weekend?
it was in the Cache Mirror. He had a Preparations, a Birth, Field Spell, and 2 Imperm sets.
Talk about value.
It was pretty nice. And then we played 2 evenly. I was really scared of Anti-Spell going into this format here. During testing, I played against Anti-Spell way too much in testing. And I was like, I need a card to out it. So that's why I'm main decking 3 Cosmic. I'm playing the evenly. And then we have the SP line, with All Mirage. So.
All right.
But yeah, evenly didn't really do anything all weekend.
Very nice. So overall, 29th place. Congratulations to you.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's the deck profile, everybody. So let's cheer on Jacob as he takes on Fargo with this, and we'll see what goes.
All right, thank you.
All right, this is Adam Glowacki from Team WUNAX signing off.